Hi Aquarius, welcome to your general messages for the 8th, the 21st of February. I hope you guys are doing great today. Let's get right into your messages. We're going to be first discussing career/money, anything having to do with finances, and then a separate relationship. I am going to timestamp in the description box for that, for the relationship portion. I'm just going to pull a bunch of cards and see what comes up. Hope you guys are doing great today. So these first ones are going to be pulling up are going to be for career. So we have this this big square coming up between Saturn and Uranus, and it's going to be happening between your first and your fourth house. You guys know, most of you know, if you watch these kind of videos, you know, tarot, astrology, whatever, you understand the great conjunction is happening in your first house, right? So you have all of these heavy energies in there, and Uranus is going to be inciting some change having to do with that fourth house. So first house of self, fourth house of home, family, right? People who you live with, where you actually live, and also your metaphorical home space, right? So whenever there's a square, that just simply means tension. And Saturn indicates old structures, old ways of looking at things. It's past karma. It's the past. Fourth house is going to have Uranus in it, which is all about, you know, moving forward, the future. Now, I do want to say this, Aquarius, especially because it's you guys, because it's Aquarius, and you guys are ruled by Uranus. And the fourth house of home, Uranus rules technology. Don't be surprised if you have some sort of new opportunity coming in that allows you to work from home via the internet. Some of you may be expanding this idea in some way. You're doing a lot of technology. I'm getting a lot of technology vibe here. However, it could mean a whole lot more than that, obviously, because you're not all in that stage of life, first of all. So, you know, again, the first house of self, right? So you're going to have Saturn in there along with Jupiter and Venus and Mercury retrograde and all these other energies. And you're going to have Uranus creating this tension. So there's got to be some sort of compromise. The release of a way that you've been thinking or doing something, and this adopting or adapting some new way of perceiving. Some of you may be literally moving home. Some of you may be changing the dynamic within your home. Some of you may be working from home. Could be anything like that, okay? So I did want to just kind of get that out there. February 10th to the 12th. I mean, check this out. We have the Sun, the Moon, Jupiter, Saturn, Mercury, Venus, and Minerva all in you guys, all in Aquarius. This has not happened in 4,000 years. It's not going to happen for another 500 years. And this is all going on for you guys in your first house of self. So you guys are not even going to recognize yourselves. It really, I'm going to say in 2 years, but even next time and next year at this time, I don't feel like you will. So you guys, it's all about you. I mean, you guys are the star of the show right now. New moon in Aquarius on February 11th. I mean, what are you guys, right? You guys, you're the landlords of the 11th house. Friendships, goals, gains. Beautiful. So this is a really good energy for problem solving, first of all, because you guys are also very unique in your approach to things. You like thinking out of the box. So this is going to be a really good energy for everyone to be thinking outside of the box in a way to problem solve, as a way of really making very progressive changes in your life. Really, really good. You know, and I don't want to over talk it. I did a video on the astrology this month, but really, really good. Then from the 11th to the 14th, I do want to just mention the good stuff, right? The Jupiter conjunct Venus, Mercury, the Sun, and the Moon. February 11th to the 14th, this is so good because it's like this unbelievable dump of love is coming in, right? That can be felt through what feels like a very much an otherwise very challenging time period. So this can bring a lot of healing in relationships. For some of you, it's going to bring new partnerships, be it in love, be it in business. Lots of wisdom gained here. Really beautiful. Even though Mercury is still retrograde, Mercury is going to be hanging out with Venus. So it's the affect of this Mercury retrograde is markedly different than the ones in the past. Truly, they just really are. And now the only little thing I want to mention, and I'm not going to make this a big negative thing, and I know a lot of channels are doing this, and I want you to please just filter whatever you're hearing. If when you listen to the Venus and Mars squaring off on the 18th to the 20th videos, yes, this can create issues in relationships and having to do with finance, but I want you to understand Mars is all about bringing us on our God-given path, what we're supposed to be doing. Now, we might be on a path and we might feel really happy, we think, in a relationship today, right now, or in that job today, right now. But at the end of the day, we might be purposely ignoring red flags, knowing that something is ultimately not going to bring us where we really are needing to go in our life, right? So this is where the tension can be created, because Venus wants to feel good, wants to feel love, but Mars is saying you can't ignore the red flags. We have to have that discussion. So this does not need to be negative at all. What you guys are discussing with somebody on the 11th to the 14th doesn't have to be in love. It could also be in business. There may be some promises made. There may be some very important conversations had, and all of a sudden on the 18th to the 20th we're like, all right, it's time to get those activated now, or were you just giving me lip service, or and really trying to figure out, is this actually the right thing? Very positive if you look at it from that perspective. Certain. But let's see what we have coming up for career/money. So again, this could have to do with your job. Not everybody's working. So it could have to do with any sort of financial situation. Maybe you're divorced and you're going through the financial portion of the dissolution of the marriage, as that happens, right, with divorce. Maybe you're dealing with some sort of lawsuit. Maybe you're trying to sell your house, buy a house, deal with an inheritance situation. Maybe you're dealing with retiring. Anything having to do with money. I like to make it more about that because everybody's at different ages and different stages in their life, right? It's kind of unfair to just keep it like that. So try to go as general as we can, but still try to get specific messages if we can. So we have peace. This is the advice. Orphaned, recognizing where you might feel not at one with somebody or something. No place like home. Aquarius, how crazy is that, right? What was I saying about hope? Yeah, I feel like some of you guys are gonna be, I don't know, executing some sort of financial situation from your home, because you feel like somebody either sold you out, or you feel like somebody didn't have your back, or there was some sort of situation that ended up not working out that you thought was going to work out for you when it came to something financial, but it ended up not working out. And right now you just want peace. That's all you want. You want peace. You feel, I'm going to say betrayed sounds like a very heavy word, because I'm not actually getting it that heavily. But it's like a disappointment, definitely a disappointment. And you feel very sort of alone. And floundering sounds like a strong word too, even though that's the first word that came. You're trying to figure something out, absolutely. And then we have, again, the no place like home. It's very important for Aquarians to feel very sort of like tucked into whatever they're doing. That's why, like, if Aquarius wants to have pink freaking hair, they're going to have pink hair. If they want to just work from 1 o'clock in the morning until 7 o'clock in the morning and no one else would do it, Aquarius is going to do it. And that's the beauty. We all need to embrace the Aquarius inside of all of us, and we all have Aquarius somewhere. You guys are just lucky enough to, I'm assuming you have it either as your sun, moon, rising, or your Venus energy. So let's get talking about the tarot, and then we'll work in the Lenormand. We have the Two of Swords here first up. Two of Swords is about it, coming into this energy, you were in a space of needing to make a decision. If it wasn't a compromise, you just needed to make a straight up decision about what it is that you want to do moving forward. Like that's a heavy question. What do you want to do with the rest of your life? So some of you may have been understanding it like that, or just needing to make a decision about a particular situation. And we have the Tower. Now, I feel like the Tower is very much working with the Cross here and Lenormand. I feel like these two are sort of reflective of the same thing, even though they're two different systems, they're two different energies, and they're two different cards, the meaning. So starting with the Cross is about redemption, and it's about the need to release something for the sake of something else, right? So if you think about from the point of like Christ consciousness, Christ died on the cross for humanity, for our sins, so that we would be saved, right? So it's like there was this sacrifice of life in order for there to be this redemption, right? So it's this need to release. And the Tower, as I mentioned it before, the Tower is a Mars energy. And as I mentioned before, Mars is all about making sure we're on a right path. We'll throw up the red flags along the way. But if we ignore them, and if we don't pay attention to the signs that are being sent, then Mars is going to absolutely end something for us to help us out, not to be punitive, right? It's not about that. But so the lights come on and everything comes crumbling down. And then all of a sudden you could kind of identify, in what way have you been maybe holding yourself up in a particular situation that's not serving you. But this does indicate restructuring, if nothing else. So there needs to be a restructuring in business, a possible complete change in circumstances. You may meet a person in power, or in a position of power, needs to make tough decisions here as well. So again, this could be you if you're the boss, or somebody that you've been working with before. They need to make a tough decision. This could also indicate, if you are in charge of something, you need to release your position in some way as well. But there needs to be this release. Now, if you're not resonating with this at all, this could be where you're having an internal Tower moment, where you're realizing you need to completely shift your focus. The way you were thinking, it's not necessarily that there was anything wrong with it having to do with this financial situation, but it wasn't going to absolutely bring you where you want to go, right? So there needs to be a change of perspective. And I like that we got this with the Judgment energy if you are having an internal Tower moment, because honestly, this is about you forgetting yourself, you forgiving yourself for anything in the past. Because this is about assessment and letting go of the past and making a decision about the past. It's kind of like a spiritual awakening. But for many of you, you're going to be getting acknowledged for your talents, gifts, and abilities. This is really about acknowledgement for your success is coming and finances improving. So something ending, but something better coming in. So we have this starting with the Ace of Swords. And what I like about this is you're going to be having a lot of mental clarity. A lot of new ideas are going to be popping into your mind right now, which is really, really nice. But you're still feeling sad. There is definitely an element of sadness. There is an element of, there's just general sadness here. I mean, I completely get it, particularly if what fell apart was a marriage. And there's just this need to heal the past, and you see things very clearly now, and you may just be in a space of sadness and focusing on this feeling of loss, this feeling of grief. Some of you might even be feeling some regret. Obviously, if it has to do with that, that makes sense. But some of you may even be transitioning out of a career, and you're just feeling like, I don't know, am I doing the right thing? I'm feeling just super focused on the fear and the sadness and the fear of regret as well. And then we have the Eight of Coins, though, as you right now, which I really like this in a career read, because 8 is the number of mastery. So this is about you mastering your career, mastering your craft, enjoying what it is that you're doing, focusing on how to get from here to there. It really is about that. It's about, doing your homework. You look at it, you see him, he's doing his homework, and then he's applying it, and he's getting really good at what he does, and he's honing. So great energy for those of you who are students, excellent energy for those of you who are in an apprentice situation, those of you who are just starting out in something, really good energy. Absolutely. Now, the energy that's external to you, that's influencing you, is the Eight of Swords. So this is a general energy that's influencing you right now. And this is a very self-imposed energy, self-imposed isolation, self-imposed imprisonment, feeling like something doesn't belong. So some of you may be, this could show up a couple of ways. It's a general energetic influence. This could be you just generally feeling that what you were involved in really was not as suited for you as you initially thought it was. Or this could be you dealing with somebody, maybe at work, or if this was a marriage partner, an ex-marriage partner, then feeling like, the marriage was just not for me, that kind of thing. Thinking like something that fit at one point no longer fits. So this could be a general energetic influence, as I indicated, or this could be an actual person. You might be in business with somebody, and they're all of a sudden they're like, yeah, you know what? I don't think so. I don't think I want to go down that road. that kind of thing, which is making you just kind of focus on your gifts and abilities right now. It's like you're taking that, which I guess can be definitely perceived as like negative for you, and you're like, all right, what am I going to do with this? I'm going to make the best of things. I'm going to move forward. I'm going to do what I know how to do. I'm going to keep going, just keep moving forward. Now, your challenge is the 10 of Wands, which is just feeling overwhelmed. This is a very psychological card, so I don't want you to be like too tripped up on this, because this is just about stress. So you just may be psychologically exhausted, psychologically stressed, feeling very burdened by things, very heavy in the head right now, which is understandable, especially with all these energies in your first house of self. My goodness, I'm sure you're feeling very, very tired these days. There's no question. There's not. Wait until March, things will lighten up. But now we have in the near future the Hangman energy. So the Hangman energy indicates to me that things may seem unclear with work right now, or whatever financial situation this is. And if things are really unclear, hold on. Wait before signing anything or dealing with any sort of legal issue. Things are going to be going on here that you are not really aware of completely, right? But you're intuitively vibing it. So you might experience some delays as a result of this, but ultimately you're protected. The Hangman is always a very protective energy when it comes to career, which is good. But it's just like, don't do anything. Actually, everyone should just be doing this for the middle of February. It's not a great energy to like sign on the dotted line. It's a great time to have the important conversations, figure things out, but don't sign on the dotted line until the very end of the month. If you could avoid it, if you could. If you can't, no big deal. Make sure you read the fine print, best to wait until the beginning of March even. But we have the final outcome energy, 7 of Wands, battle of the wills, self-defense, right? This is like feeling the need to draw a line in the sand about what you want, need, and desire. Some of you may even be in a space of feeling like you have to defend other people. So if this has to do with a divorce, this is you standing up for the rights of your kids and what do your kids deserve and money for them. This could be an alimony kind of thing for some of you. For others of you, obviously that can translate in a number of ways if it has to do with some sort of personal situation, right? So it's like, something feels unclear, you're not signing on the dotted line, but you like fighting for something. You might, fighting for, especially if it has to do with any kind of lawsuit, inheritance situation, anything like that. Yeah, okay, could certainly show up as that. But again, the 7 of Wands, because, keep in mind, Mars in Leo, right? Mars is that warrior energy. Leo is fire. So it's like really standing up for yourself. It's like a standing up for yourself kind of energy that I really think is going to be necessary here. Now going to the Lenormand, we had the cross energy, as I mentioned, right? Something needs to be released in order for your betterment, like moving forward. We have this working with the house, and then we have the tree, as above, so below. So some of you may literally be in the space of selling a house, needing to sacrifice a house, obviously, in order for you to move on. It could also just be the metaphor of the home. Like, obviously, it would be indicative of a marriage, for sure. Now, for others of you, this could simply be you recognizing, it's just crazy that we got in Lenormand, the house is card 4. It's in the 4th house. Cancer is the 4th house for you. That is the 4th house in astrology as well. There's going to need to be this release from something, okay? So maybe you're moving out, maybe a release of something that you were doing in the home, or you're releasing something else for the so that you can buy a home, so that you can save your home, so that you can work from home, something having to do with the home. We have this also working with the as above, so below card. So you're very sensitive to the idea that how you're treated out in the world is going to manifest in how you feel inside about what it is that you're doing. So if you are feeling a lot of rejection outside, you're going to feel very rejected inside, even if you don't want to feel that way, right? But it is this idea of as above, so below. What you put out there, you're going to get back. If you put out positive and you get negative back, it's up to you to walk away from that toxicity, and this way you only end up attracting really positive energy towards you, which is this. This is very positive gossip. Gossip, right? Is it like gossip's always a negative? No, there's positive gossip too. Somebody's speaking really nicely about your talents, gifts, and abilities. And this is coming in from the internet, social media, some sort of social networking, something to do with the computer. This is like accolades coming in, but it has to be after you release something else. And then we have the dogs. You know what the answer is to a situation. You know exactly what you need to do. Aquarius. You know exactly what you need to do. You are your own best friend at the end of the day. You should be. Right? Go to love. Let's go to love. All right, so reminder. We are going to be doing a deep love read next week. Oh, and guys, if you like this video, please, I never plug my own videos. If you like this, please like and subscribe, please. I know a lot of people have been emailing me that they've been getting unsubscribed from my channel. And if somebody chooses to unsubscribe, whatever, I mean, I totally get it. It's the ebb and flow of all of these things. But people are saying that they were involuntarily subscribed. Now, I'm going to tell you, without exaggeration, I have gotten at least 2 to 3 dozen emails within a 4-day period saying this. So if you know that you should be subscribed, just please check that you are. And if not, just please resubscribe if you would. I don't know what's going on. I don't know. Mercury retrograde, right? But who knows? Okay. I know I'm not the only one, so I'm not even taking it personally. It's just sort of an issue on the platform. All right. So, looking at the future in relationship. Yeah, some of you are like paying very close attention to the clock. Well, that looks good. And we have the star and the sun as the closing energies. Paradise, Cupid's arrow, wedding rings. Oh, Aquarius, please give me a really good love read. Lots of challenges. As I pull the first card of the Three of Swords. Okay, that doesn't mean anything. It's just a situation right now. The Two of Swords. So things might be a little uncomfortable for you right now. Cups, yeah. All right, so let's go through these first. So we have the Queen. Starting off, we have the Queen of Cups in the recent past. Queen of Cups in the reverse, somebody who has a lot of insecurities, a lot of vulnerabilities. This is somebody who may struggle with some sort of addiction, some sort of anxiety, anything that's sort of like imbalanced like that. That's a Queen of Cups reverse energy. So you may have been dealing with that, or you may, with another person, you may have been having your own struggle with that. But this is almost like a smothering energy as well, though, too. So, but we have this energy now. Currently, we have the Three of Swords, which is the card of pain. This is about heartbreak, divorce, loss, depression. And we have this working with the Two of Swords in the reverse. So the Two of Swords in reverse is confusion and indecision, information overload, right? And the need to make some sort of compromise with yourself on some level. Was reverse, yeah, on one way or another. Now we have the Wheel of Fortune as the crowning energy. So Wheel of Fortune is ruled by Jupiter. When it comes to relationships, this does indicate an ex-partner comes back from the past, but you need to think about that last go around, and do you think your connection had good enough bones and a strong enough foundation to make it work, another time? If so, fantastic. Jupiter will bless it. But if not, you have to know deep down that you are trying to kind of fit a circle in a square, and then chances are that it's not going to go smoothly, right? Like if you were dealing with somebody who is like a narcissist or just very caught up in their own stuff that they still don't see yet. This could also indicate meeting somebody brand new. For those of you who are in a relationship and things are going well, this is like a continuation of that energy, which is really nice. We have the World as the foundation, which is about a lesson learned. So, if somebody's coming back from the past, this could certainly indicate lesson learned. Lesson learned. The World is about, when it comes to relationships, happiness, right? fulfillment, but it is the completion of this lesson so that you can move on to another phase. Saturn is the ruler of this energy, and Saturn is all about do your homework, follow the rules. This is tough. You have to put in the work. Challenging, challenging, challenging. If you make it through the Saturnian energy, though, you're given a Saturnian gift, which is about long-lasting energy within that area, which is nice. Now, I feel like, I have to say what I'm feeling. I feel like you're going to be hearing from somebody. This feels very specific. So if this is not your reading, please don't try to make it fit, okay? Just catch the deep love read next time. But this is positive energy coming in that incites almost a frenetic kind of change. This is almost a busy energy. It's like a lot of, once this good news comes in, there are a lot of emails, text messages, phone calls exchanged. There's a lot of information exchanged as a result of this news coming in. Now that's you right now, but it's like news coming into you. And we have the star reverse. So the star reverse does indicate to me like there's depression, there's some sort of illness, there could be some sort of arrogance at play here. This could have to do with being ignored, feeling ignored. This could have to do with sexual impotence, somebody who has an issue with that as well. But I feel like you're hearing from this energy who's struggling with all of these things, if that makes sense, right? Definitely an energy, though, it's like, what I'm not loving about this, and I have to tell you, the star energy reverse indicates a giving up too easily on something, because somebody feels very blocked because they're very attached to a fantasy and they don't want to deal with the details of a situation. Or this could also indicate somebody like pulling you into a false sense of security in something that has no foundation and little chance of success, that ends up not being able to give you the support that you're ultimately going to end up needing. But I feel like that's the energy external that's coming towards you. It's like you're receiving this information. And the thing is, like, this star reverse energy, I feel like doesn't really even realize this, right? That they're giving off this false sense of security, that they don't really like to deal with the minutia of what it is to really make a relationship work. And your challenge here is the Ace of Cups, which is a new relationship or proposing something new or marriage or whatever it is, maybe a new baby. For some of you, quite literally, the issue in your relationship is going to resonate with somebody out there. It's very obvious that, the challenge here is getting pregnant, because somebody has some sort of sexual issue going on, some sort of sexual dysfunction going on that they may not want to look at, and they don't want to deal with it. And so, like, that's something that might certainly need to be addressed, right? Obviously, if that's a story, if that's your situation, I'm very sorry, because that's very painful to go through for both parties, right? But this person needs to understand that there's help out there for that, if that's the situation. Now, we have the hanging man in the near future. Now, when it comes to relationships, you may be in a position where you're waiting around for somebody that you're really interested in to acknowledge you with the same intention that you have for them, but you're unable to get that commitment in the way that you want or need, or you might be the one unwilling to commit, right? And you might ultimately decide that the wait isn't worth the time and effort. You might feel like in order for the situation to work out, you're going to ultimately end up having to sacrifice something that you want, need, and desire for this to work. So, it is kind of this like, all right, now what? Because you're very confused. This is, the hangman is a Neptune energy, the landlord of the 12th house of the hidden. It's the subconscious. It's the things that aren't really clear to us. So there's a lot of confusion here, but you're very much trying to gain some sort of wisdom trying to get a different perspective. You're trying. But at the end of the day, we have the Four of Wands in reverse. The Four of Wands in reverse is about moving out, an argument, leaving home. So it does seem like there's some sort of, something going on here that needs to be addressed. Look, it's a minor arcana, and it could just simply mean an argument. But, I'm going to come back and pull more cards on that. But, let's take a look here. We have, again, the woman looking at the future with Venus around her neck. Venus is the Empress energy. Could be thinking about creating a family, thinking about fertility, thinking about growing in a relationship, looking at the future, but being very aware that the clock is ticking. Very aware that the clock is ticking and time is passing. Now, this can have to do with just, wanting to feel love. That we have the Center card is a message of truth comes in and it incites a new change. Incites a change in this dynamic, and you enter into a new cycle. And that new cycle, everything is happening just as it's meant to happen. With the stars means it's already written. Now you're just acting it out. And we have that with the sun, which is about just total contentment. And whatever that means to you, it's going to mean something different to everyone. Okay, with the Untitled Wellness, we start off here with the Paradise, happiness, expansion, joy, playfulness, oneness, enjoying each other. Cupid's arrow, have faith, love is coming in, a surprise invitation, meeting, hesitation. Then we have a chaser in a codependent relationship, fear of abandonment issues. And then we have wedding rings. Okay, and wedding rings is about union, married, soul connection, eternal love, everlasting promise. So, very interesting because this is very complicated. Now, I feel like I could pull cards on this for an hour. But you know what? Before I do, let me just, I feel like two different scenarios are going on here. First of all, I feel like some of you are really not very happy in something and somebody comes back from the past saying that they've learned a lesson, they contact you, right? But the thing is, it's like there are these issues that need to be ironed out. And I just feel like there's going to end up being this really very important argument that has to happen. We have the Devil energy in the reverse. We have the Nine of Cups in reverse. All right, these are important conversations that are going to be going on. I like the Devil in reverse better than in the upright, because the Devil in reverse means like the chains and the shackles and the imbalance are going to be addressed. So it's not going to be like this thing that's just sort of, lingering out there. It's definitely more positive. Restrictions are dealt with more easily. It becomes clear that the situation is actually not as bad as you originally thought. So that could be good. And then we're talking about the Nine of Cups in the reverse can indicate greed. It can indicate somebody just looking for quick results, quick. Let's just do this kind of thing. And that's really like not the way to go. It can't be. It seems like whatever situation is happening here, there needs to be an investment of time. And then we have the Ace of Pentacles. Beautiful. I mean, this is just about brand new, right? Brand new mental, physical, emotional connection. We have the Seven of Swords working here, which is about betrayal and dishonesty and running away from something. We have the Ten of Pentacles in reverse, which indicates lots of conflicts, loneliness. This could indicate family conflicts, just conflicts in the ability to mature in something. This can indicate some money issues as well. And then we have the Ten of Swords. Ten of Swords is a complete and painful ending. You might be dealing with somebody who has a really difficult family. Or family is an issue here as well. The idea of family. And there ends up, it's like no matter how much you want to work something out, it seems like it can't work with a certain energy. And I feel like somebody brand new is coming in. I just do. I feel like in order for you have to move into, there's got to be a new cycle, right? Because this is one of those horses on the merry-go-round where it goes up and down. It's to indicate each up is one cycle in our life, and then down is another, and then up is another. So this indicates, because it's like You're very aware of time. You're going into this next phase in your life, and everything is very destined to happen the way it's happening. We have Cupid's arrow coming in. So somebody, but again, this person could also be somebody from your past, but in a good way, not in a bad way. But I do feel like there's an additional energy here. We have this idea of chaser, and we have the idea of the Ten of Swords, complete and painful ending. I just feel like there were a lot of issues with family that were getting in the way of this being able to be like a really happy thing, and you opening yourself up to another energy. Now, this new energy could be somebody you never had to go out with them before. This could be somebody that you've just known before from the past. Maybe you were just friends with them, maybe in high school or college or something like that, you know, from a different time period. And it's kind of, you're communicating with them, right? And then all of a sudden it ends up evolving into something different. So that is what I have for you guys. Very interesting reading, I have to tell you. It seems on the one hand confusing, and on the other hand completely clear, because it's complicated, which is often the case with relationships. But anyway, my friends, that is what I have for you for this week. I will see you guys next time. Thank you so much for joining me. Until then, bye-bye.